Hello everybody, Captain of Productions here, and today I will be showing you how to make a Z6 Riot Control baton. Now, I'm sure you know there are a lot of different ways you could make one of these batons, but today I'm going to show you a very simple and good way of making one. The first and most important thing you're going to need are toothpicks. Any toothpicks will work. Any color will work if you have like the colored ones. It really doesn't matter because you're going to end up painting it in the end. And then the second most important thing you're going to need is super glue. I've heard the gel super glue probably works better with Legos because I guess it stays better in place so it doesn't slip around and stuff, but I use this liquid kind, and it works pretty well. So any super glue will work, or crazy glue, just any of those things that will dry pretty quickly and will stay there for a very long time. Then you're going to need a black and a red Sharpie. And then the last two things you're going to be needing are a box knife or an X-Acto knife and some white paint. Now, any paint will do, I think, for this one, as long as it's not watercolor, of course. You might even be able to use like a whiteout, or if they have them, like a white Sharpie or something, because you are going to be doing it on wood, so it's not like plastic. It's not gonna rub off. So yeah, any kind of acrylic paint or like a white Sharpie. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so first what you're going to do is get out 2 toothpicks, and then take your box knife or X-Acto knife, and you're going to want to cut it. Let's see how I did this before. So you're gonna want to cut off. Here, let me just demonstrate. You never want the tip of the toothpick because that's really pointy and it looks bad. It looks like a toothpick. So let me cut this. Okay, so I got one side cut, so I got the tip off of that, wherever that went. You don't need the tip at all. You can just throw that away. So, and then you're going to cut the other end to be this size. So, let me demonstrate. Okay, so that was kind of a messy job. It's a bit jagged at the end, but I mean, it'll work. Then you're going to want to grab your second toothpick and your box knife again, and you're going to want to, in comparison to this, well, this is what you want it to look like. So you want them to come off of the end of the main toothpick piece. You want them to stick out a little bit further than that. So here's the actual stick. So that's about how long you're gonna want these side pieces to be. So let's compare those and start cutting again. And you're going to want to first off just cut off the end of that and then work from there on. So okay, that took a little bit longer than I was hoping, and it's a little bit jagged at the end, but This is probably going to be kind of a quick and messy one just so that I can demonstrate. So then you're going to want to cut it, like I said, about, in comparison to this, you want it to come off about that much, and you want to still have room for the handle. So you're going to want to cut them about to down here. So let's see if I can get this right. You can use your Sharpie to mark where you need to cut it. So right about there. So right about there, that little black dot is where I need to cut it. So let's do this. So here I have cut myself a piece for right here. I think it may be a bit shorter, but that doesn't really matter. They're never going to be the exact same. So then what you're going to want to do is cut another piece, probably right next to it, so that you can make sure you get the same exact size. So you're just going to do the same thing again. So you get your box knife, and let's go back and use the same toothpick that you used to get the first short piece off, and do the same thing again. Okay, so here's my piece cut. Let's see if they're the same size. And it looks like they're just about the same size. So let's continue. So now you have all of your pieces, and what you're going to want it to look like is like that whenever it's finished. So you're going to need your glue, your super glue or crazy glue or whatever, and you're going to glue those two side pieces on. So again, you're going to want it like this. So just take your glue and figure out, well, first get your Sharpie actually, and mark down where the back of this small piece is going to go. So we want it to be about right there. So just make a mark on your bigger one, where it needs to go, and then take your glue and just glue from that dot to the end, like this. Okay, so you got your glue there. Then you're going to want to take your short piece and just set it down right there. And wait for that to dry. Okay, I think that's about good. I think we can continue now. And then it's easy from that point. You just want to get the other piece on the opposite side, but in the same spot. So again, put your glue on, grab your second short piece, and just put it down. Make sure it's straight, make sure it's not like going down on one side and coming up on the other. So that seems about right. Wait for that to dry. Okay, so I think that's about dry enough to continue. So next, and I actually forgot to tell you about this, but if I can find one of these pieces that I had. Oh, there's one. You're going to need one of these, which is just part of, I think this one actually came off of, it was the barrel of a blaster rifle, but you can use them from any kind of staff or just Lego stick or whatever. Anything like this will work. So you're gonna need one of these, and you're gonna want to have it just long enough for your figures, for it to come out of the top of your figure's hand a little bit like that, and then the bottom you're going to want to cut off, just so that your figure has a little bit of room to stick his hand on it, but you don't want it to be like sticking way down. So let me just show you. So it's sticking out of the bottom of his hand a lot, so you're going to want to take some wire cutters and just cut that off. See what I did there? And you could even go a little bit shorter if you wanted to. I don't know if I'm gonna go shorter with that actually. So just about that short. I don't know why I used this minifigure. He was just conveniently here, so yeah, there he is. But anyway, then you're going to want to grab a file, which I forgot to mention too. I completely forgot about this part. And you're going to want to file down the bottom of this part that you cut, that way it's flat. It's level on the part that you cut, because before it was all jagged. See how it's kind of jagged right now, and it's not going to glue well, it's not going to sit well if it's all jagged. It probably won't stay well. So you want it nice and flat. It doesn't have to be perfect. So, like that. See, now it's all flat and level on the bottom. Let's make sure it'll work. Yep, and that should work. So then you're going to want to take your super glue and just either side of this, as long as they're both flat, you're going to want to get a little dot of super glue or crazy glue on there, and then stick it down, I think right about here is where I want it. So let's wait for that to sit for a second, and then I'll show you the rest. You gotta make sure that it is on the top where it's supposed to be. Make sure it's not leaning in a certain direction. See, it's leaning to the left right now. I need to get that back up there. That looks about right. We'll probably let that dry for a second, and then we'll continue. Alright, so here it is, almost completely dry. Now we're going to paint it and color it. So what you're going to want to do is take your black Sharpie, or you could use black paint, and draw one line on the back, and one line towards the front, and then you're going to want to leave a space in the middle. That was kind of a sloppy job. It's not even, but you know, no big deal. And you're going to want to take your red Sharpie, and in the middle you're going to want to do sort of a red line. Like I said a second ago, it's really messy, doesn't look very good, but no big deal, because I've already made one that I was pretty happy with, and they're super easy to make, and you can almost never run out of material to make them. So then you're going to want to do the same thing on the back side of it. So, here I have done the detail on both sides, and then you're pretty much finished. And if you wanted to, you could paint it white before you do that detail, and then it would look like this. But if you're not patient enough and you don't really feel like doing the white, you don't have to. But what you do when you do the white detail is you do white down here. We pretty much do white everywhere, except for right here, because you have your detail right here. And then after the white dries, you take black paint and do a line to the middle right here, and lines, about 4 lines on the sides over here. And then you're done, and that's what it's gonna look like. I was pretty happy that I found out how to make these, because I think they turn out pretty well usually, and they just really add some cool features to your customs if you want to give them to your clones or stormtroopers. I gave mine to this dude that I made, and I'm actually working on a Riot shield for him, but I'm definitely not finished with that yet. So, thank you for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. Please like, comment, and subscribe.